Hey everybody. I'm sure many of you guys may have never really paid attention, but did you know that Microsoft updated the Segoe UI font with the release of Windows 8? Yes, they did in fact update it. Basically, ever since Windows 8, the system font, the Segoe UI font, has received a minor makeover. One of the biggest things that they redone was several of the numbers and a couple of the letters. So let's go ahead and see, I have Windows 10 on the left and I have Windows 7 on the right here in the virtual machine. So let's go into Control Panel and let's pull up the fonts on both of these. And let's take a look at Segoe UI. Here we go, Segoe UI regular, and we'll do the same on the Windows 7 machine here. Yeah, it's a little bit slower because it's in a virtual machine. It's always nice to play games with tech support scammers though when it's nice and slow. Anyways, again, we'll do the Segoe on this one. We'll show it to you. Now, from a distance, these two fonts look exactly the same. Now, if you pay attention to things, you may notice something right away that's different. Look at the numbers. Particularly, numbers 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 9. This is on new Segoe, or more or less Windows 8 and up. This is on classic Segoe UI. In other words, Windows 7, Windows Vista, and prior. Segoe came out. Segoe really started to show its presence, and actually in Windows Media Center, even back in the XP days. But this is the old Segoe. Now, some of you guys may have a preference for either or. I have a preference for the newer one. So I'm sure there's many of you guys who out there who are still rocking your Windows 7 machines, and I totally understand it. Nothing wrong with it. But perhaps maybe you would like to have the new Segoe UI font on your Windows 7 box. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. It's actually pretty simple, provided you have a machine kicking around with Windows 8 or Windows 10. You may have a buddy that has it, or you can get, because all you need access to is just the basically the fonts within the files on the machine. So anyways, let's say for example our Windows 10 machine is going to be our donor for fonts. And close these out. Now, for those of you who actually love Windows Media Center like me, you can actually update the fonts in Media Center to reflect the new Segoe. It's not quite as easy though. I'll do a separate video on covering, how to actually do that. So anyways, let's go ahead and if you just go to computer, well actually, what you would do is right back where it was at. So you go to Control Panel. Now, of course, I have Classic Shell installed. That gives me a Classic Start menu. One of the best things you can do to Windows 8 and Windows 10. So you go to Fonts, you would locate Segoe UI. Again. And you can do everything that's, just highlight every one that's Segoe UI. Matter of fact, I did all of the Segoe. The Segoe print, the Segoe script, all of them. You basically highlight them all. Now, Segoe Media Center is one I installed myself. That's just a classic Segoe font. So that way I have the classic Segoe in Windows 10 for editing purpose. That way I have them side by side. But anyways, you would highlight on your machine, on your Windows 10 donor, you would highlight all the Segoe fonts. This I'm doing these for example. You would choose copy and then paste them to a folder wherever you choose. Now I'll go over to a Windows 7 machine. So let's say you copy those files to a flash drive or whatnot. You would go ahead and go to the location where you had those files stored. I had them stored in a particular spot. I have so much stuff. Windows 10 Segoe family. So basically, when you copy out all those files, you get this here. This whole list of Segoe stuff. So that's basically what you get, and you just highlight them all, right click, and choose install. You're going to get prompts saying, you know, that this Segoe whatever font is already installed. Do you want to replace it? Just check the box and select yes. If you would like to keep your Windows 7 Segoe font available as a backup, perform the same actions you did on the Windows 10 donor machine to the old Windows 7 Segoe family before you install the new Segoe font. That way you have the backup. So we'll select yes on all these, and it's going to install. Now you'd want to either A, restart your computer, or B, as a minimum, log off and log back on. That way your fonts will be updated. Now if you want to, you could even do this if you're running a Windows Vista computer, which I kind of hope you're not, but if you have a Vista machine, like say in a virtual machine or whatever you want to play around with, you can actually do this to Vista as well. So we're going to log off. And you'll log back on. Now, one thing I would like to note is sometimes when you first do the Segoe UI font upgrade, after a reboot or sometimes before reboot, you may periodically, and it's especially common on the starting up splash screens and things like that, you may see REL instead of Segoe. And I think what causes that is, I think it has to do with the font caching on the machine. It takes a little bit to get everything upgraded, but after maybe one or two reboots, you always see the new Segoe everywhere you look. And I think it's a very nice visual enhancement for Windows 7. I'll be honest with you. So go to Task Manager, which, for example, Task Manager runs Segoe UI for this here. And these are, with the numbers, it's such small changes. But I think it makes the numbers a little bit easier to read, especially, like, for example, in the corner on your date and time. Now, also, there are a couple of capital letters that received updates. For example, we go to Control Panel and go to Fonts, just like we did before. And of course, when you go into Fonts, wherever you're at, there you are. When you go into Fonts, it'll look practically the same as it did previously. It's still listed as Segoe UI. So there you go, there's Segoe UI, and let's just say Segoe UI Lite, for example. Basically, on the capital I, they removed both serifs. Now, this might be sort of a complaint, because now the capital I looks so similar to a lowercase l, but they also redone the tail on the capital Q. Instead of having it go down and out, it just slants out at the corner. So yeah, I mean, other than that, there's not really much difference between the classic Segoe and the new Segoe. And before I wrap this up, let's see if you're running a Windows 8 or Windows 10 machine and you like the Windows 7 Segoe better. You can pull a reverse operation. Yes, you can actually bring the old Segoe into the newer Windows. Does it work perfectly? Not exactly. Let me go and explain. Let's go ahead and start up. I'm going to go ahead and shut down this Windows 7 virtual machine, and I'll boot up a Windows 10 virtual machine. And what I mean by it's not exactly perfect is, now your desktop and things like that, the old Segoe will in fact take, will take place. It'll take priority. But I noticed in some of the modern UI apps, like for example weather, for example, some of the numbers still show the new Segoe, and some of the numbers show the classic Segoe. Not sure exactly why. Well, actually, I think I might know why. One thing I noticed is there are actually more Segoe font files when you copy and paste to a folder. There are actually more files when you copy from a Windows 10 box or Windows 8 box than you would from a Windows 7 box. So what that means is there's probably a couple of fonts here and there that are still that hadn't been overwritten. So you have sort of a mixture between the new and old Segoe, but it's like I mentioned, it's just like 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8 in capital letters Q and I that were changed. So it's not really that big of a deal. So but like I mentioned, you will, like in some of the apps, you may still see a couple of numbers here and there that are still of the new Segoe. We'll just go and let this start up and you'll see for yourself. Again, this Windows 10 box here has the classic Segoe installed. And of course, the actual host operating system has the new Segoe that it came with. Still waiting for this to load up. Oh, there we go. So anyways, if you look carefully, you can see the serifs on the bottom of the 1s. The tail of the 5 sticks out to the left further. And the slant on the 4 is straight, not curved. Now, for example, I'll go and pull up Task Manager and let you take a look at it. You see, like for example, in Performance, the classic Segoe is there. You can easily tell by the serifs on the bottom of the 1. It looks pretty cool, actually. I'm sure some of you guys may be fans of the classic Segoe, some of you may be fans of the new Segoe, and probably a good portion of you never knew there was a difference between the two. Now, for example, I'll load up. Let's load up some modern apps. Weather, for example, as I mentioned, I'll show you weather. The live tile actually had the newer Segoe. Now it's 66 degrees out, so I can't really tell for sure if this is newer classic Segoe. Let's just do International Falls. I know it's pretty cold up there. International Falls, Minnesota. Okay, yep, so we have classic Segoe. And it's freezing cold up in International Falls, Minnesota. 32 degrees up there. So we had the classic 2. As you can see, it goes straight down rather than a curve. But yeah, if we scroll down, you look here at the daily, the high temperatures have the new Segoe, but the lows have the old Segoe. It's really odd. I mean, it's really odd. Don't know exactly what's up with that. But for those of you who are wanting to get the new Segoe in your Windows 7 boxes, it's practically, whenever you update the fonts, it's 100%. Everything gets the new Segoe. You can see, just for example, on this sentence here, old Segoe. This here is new Segoe. That's new Segoe. The temperatures here are new Segoe. The years are old Segoe. So like I mentioned, it's just half and half. But for many of you, you may not even care. Let's see. I don't know. Windows Store. You'll probably ask me to sign up for a Microsoft account at this point, but let's see. Oh, classic Segoe. I think it just depends on the app. Yeah, we got classic Segoe all through here. So I'd say this is definitely something that you might be interested in. That you can actually, if you like the new Segoe and want to have it on your Windows 7 machine, you can definitely override it onto your Windows 7 box, or if you're running a Windows 8 or Windows 10 machine and you like the classic Windows 7 Windows Vista style Segoe UI, you can overwrite the files on your newer machine with the older files. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, thanks for watching.